Why did you decide to start dressing up for these interviews?
I thought it was just probably disarming people that they think you're absolutely ridiculous, so I don't have to be a normal rigid interview. I can actually be myself, like all the focus is kind of on them. So it just started that I think I bought one hat and we were going to use a hat and a microphone. Went into children's dress-up boxes and now I think I'm on face paint and paper stuck to my face, and how many times I've gone through weekends now with my face dyed purple or glitter.
Hey there, I'm Phil, and today I've got one of the interviews with one of my favourite team members, Tazia Hull. Welcome, Taz.
Hello, Philip.
Thanks for joining me. So, Taz, what's your role here at Skye?
So I'm head of operations and support. So I look after everything apart from sales and marketing. So we're all the back end and trying to create efficiencies and grow the business.
Yeah, everything except for Trenton and Potty.
Yes.
So how long have you been here at Skye?
I reckon we're nearly coming up a year. So I reckon we're 10 or 11
May.
months.
May, isn't
it?
Yeah. Yes, May is a year. And then you'll get yourself a cake.
Yes.
Anniversary cake.
I'll buy my own cake.
Yeah. If we remember, we'll get that. And what were you doing before Skye?
So I was at DPM Financial Services, so operations manager there, and prior to that, practice manager for a firm in Ballarat, which is where I'm from.
Yeah, Ballarat. And how was the interview process?
Intense.
Yeah, talk to me about that.
No, I seriously thought you didn't like me. Both times I've talked to my partner and I'm like, no, didn't get the job, and then call back. I'm like, oh, okay, no, didn't get the job, and then you've got the job. Really? Were you even surprised by my reaction when you were like, oh, why are you so surprised with this?
I remember. I remember most people's interview process. I remember yours. I was trialing something new where I'm very direct and candid and come across much more grumpy the more I like someone, because it's a good tester to see how we'll work. If someone's going to be off put by me being direct or candid, then hey, they're not going to be a good fit. And we had given that your role is really instrumental in the business, we brought in someone to help be a sounding board, because I'm the worst hirer. I'd hire everyone. Yes. I'm just like, yeah, that'll be awesome, that'll be good. So with you, we brought in a third party to bring it in, and I was practicing my my stern face in the interview, so I understand.
It wasn't scary or intense. It was just different. That it was like, oh, you've got a follow-up question or you trying to challenge my answer. Normally it's like, oh, thank you for that answer. We'll move on.
Yeah. No, that's good. And talk to me about, since being at Skye, what's some of the worst or best things about being at Skye? And I love hearing about the bad things.
Worst and best is probably the same thing.
Okay.
It's just
Phil.
how...
No.
That's just a given.
Yeah.
So I think it's more... we're forever growing and changing, and some days you just probably like a little bit of consistency, but then other days you're like, I love that we're always moving forward and we're wanting to grow. So it's kind of dependent on how busy or how much capacity that you've got as to how you're like, I'd just like it if I could just do some steps the same way.
And how do you find that change management? Because that's something, as you know, I'm not very good at that change management style. How do you go about doing that? Because you've got me saying, let's change everything every 5 seconds, and you've got to deal with a team who need to go along a journey to change. How do you find that?
I think it's good that we've put in so much effort as a business to hire team members that culturally fit and have the same ideals and understand what we're trying to achieve, where they're really embracing the changes and they actually want the changes and to be better. They're not just happy to have everything go the same way every day, and I'm going to be really rigid in my role. Like, everyone's wanting to strive and get better, which makes it a really great workplace.
Yeah. And what's something that you think other people may not know about Skye that, that is a fun fact or interesting thing about what we do here?
I think it's just Skye kind of gets put to the side sometimes with these other firms that we're the old school, hey, would you like some insurance? And insurance is always considered uncool in the financial planning space, but we've put this big spin on it where we're educating clients that are actually proactively coming to us that actually understand what they need and how it's going to help them. So it's actually a much easier conversation with a client, and we're bringing them along for a journey. And I actually don't think that's probably as well known in the marketplace as what people think. They just think that we're like every other firm and we're so vastly different.
Yeah. I went to a friend of mine podcast recording, and the producer there, I walked in the room, she's like, "What? You're Phil?" Because we'd emailed each other a lot, and she's like, "Wait, I thought you were like some 60-year-old guy, doing insurance advice." And I was like, "Well, I am who I am," And she's like, "Oh, you're heaps different than what I thought." So yeah, I think the market is very, insurance is, naturally skews a bit older. Older advisors would skew towards insurance.
Oh, you don't fit the mold at all.
Yeah, we definitely don't fit the mold. And what's been, you're almost a year in. What are some of the things you're looking forward to most, being able to some of the challenges you're being able to tackle in year 2?
I think just because we're growing so rapidly is just, it's completely, normally you go into an established business and you go, this is what we're going to do, and you can make a few changes here and now, but you can never make anything radical to really help the business progress. And here we've got open slather where we're recruiting constantly, we're growing the business, we know what everyone from the administrators working our inbox all the way up to management know the goals we're trying to achieve. It's full transparency and we're all pushing forward with this. So I think we're the only ones that can hold us back. So we've just got free reign.
And you work closely with me?
Yes.
And so tell me, what's some of the worst things about working directly with me? Or the most challenging? Not the worst. Let's not call it bad thing. Let's just say challenging things. So you don't feel bad when you spray me.
No. I think it's probably because you're so across the business and invested in it that probably getting your time is always hard. Like, we have our set time to catch up, and because we do work remotely, sometimes that gets a bit challenging us to sort of navigate to get that time to how do we plan it. Like, if you've actually got to make the effort, it's not just like in a normal traditional sense where you'd turn around and go, hey, Phil, how are we going? Like, we've got to plan our days and our conversations.
Yeah, that's true. How do we get better at that?
Oh, I think me coming down more, like you're heading off to Europe, so I won't take that personally that I'm here and you're going.
Well, it is a reason why we're off, just because we're in town. No.
I think, it's just like Trent, you and I, like we've got Wednesday morning catch-ups now, like we're actually going, we don't have the traditional office structures, so we've kind of got to be untraditional with how we handle this. So we've actually got to put in the effort to not just assume that we're going to get time to have a chat, like make the use of, like, best use of the time that we have. Yeah.
And so one of the things that you do in the business is you do chats with Taz. Is that what we call them? Talks with Taz.
Talks with Taz.
And you dress up every single time. Now, this is one of these things that it wasn't discussed. There was no mandate for me to do it. But it's one of my favorite things of the weeks is just clicking on that link going, what is Taz going to wear? Talk to me about your philosophy of why did you decide to start dressing up for these interviews?
I thought it was just probably disarming people that they think you're absolutely ridiculous, so I don't have to be a normal rigid interview, and like I can actually be myself because this person's like all the focus is kind of on them. So it just started that I think I bought one hat and we were going to use a hat and a microphone, and then we had like helmets and old costumes that I'd used for Halloween parties, and then went into children's dress-up boxes, and now I think I'm on face paint and paper stuck to my face, and how many times I've gone through weekends now with my face dyed purple or glitter.
I think that's how it started. You were so excited because you started it and you bought on Amazon or something, like a microphone. Yeah. And you were so excited it was coming. You were like, oh, I've got something next week. And then you did it and it was good. And then like it just got worse and worse or better depending on you.
No, it got worse.
It just got more crazy over time. My favorite one was possibly, I reckon, Jigglypuff. That's what it's called. Yeah, the Pokemon.
Oh, yeah.
Where you painted your whole face pink. Yeah. Anyway,
I can't get away from it because Trent's photo for when I call him is me being a frog.
Yeah. And it's one of these things you can't dial back on it now. No. You feel more pressure now to make it even crazier?
Yeah, and I think I need it to be worse. Like I can't just go, this is a high-scale costume. Like I've got to make it
it's got to be
as trashy as possible.
It's got to be like a 2-year-old dress. Did the dress up.
Yeah.
I love
it. The team are into it now, and I didn't even have to ask them. They just wanted to start
That's right. In. Yeah, that was the other thing that happened is you started doing it and then the team were like, oh, cool, what's our dress up this week? And so what? Seb's now, you and Seb are doing what? Farmhouse?
Yeah,
Farm?
country theme.
Country.
Because he's found a hat he wants to wear in the office.
He's got to have a flannel as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
I'm from the Rat, so I've got
Well,
plenty of flannels.
I know you're sorted. You've got that sorted, but we're going to get Seb sorted. All right. Hey, Taz, thanks for jumping on and allowing me to interview you because you had about 2 hours? 2 hours notice? Yeah, 2 hours. Yeah, he's a notice. Give me your inspirational quote. You know we love it. That was the only preparation we gave
I freaked out about this and now it's sweated off my hand.
What is it? What is it?
So I said nothing of significance is accomplished alone. So it does resonate with me, but yeah, doing these does freak me out. So yeah, I needed to be prepared.
You did a great job. Well done, Taz. Thank you for joining me on this interview.
Thanks.